Hey guys, can you hear me or see me? That's the real question. Okay, I can see myself. Let me know how the quality is. It says excellent on my end. So we'll see if that's true. Wow, my desk looks real messy. I've been playing Minecraft all day. Okay, that's my dad. He sees me and he hears me, so we're good. How's everybody doing? We're ready to do some crafting. Oh, let me adjust that. That's the one thing I didn't do yet. There we go. Gotta get it just right. Gary's great. That's wonderful. Daniel, are you still on? Little brother Daniel commented, but that was half an hour ago, so I don't know if he's still around. That's my camera cord. Well, I am literally just here to stitch. I don't know about everybody else. There's 4 people on. Who else is on? Hi. How are you? Let's chat. Gotta catch up on all your projects and all the things. Let me know. I'm just literally going to be continuing working on this right here that I started last week and have not touched since the last live stream, so it's a good thing we're doing this again because I haven't done anything on it. It's gonna be a good time. I already threaded my thread, so we're just gonna start, and I'm just gonna hang out here until you're here. I'm gonna switch views also because I think that this is more interesting to watch. I don't know. Whatever. Green screen, and guitar in the background. Those are not mine. Okay, well, while we're waiting for everybody to show up, I can tell you what I've been up to, which is playing Minecraft all day. It's been a good time. Vincent and I finally made friends in our neighborhood. It's been a rough year for friends with coronavirus and everything making it extra hard to meet people, but we did, and funnily enough, both the friend that Vincent made and the friend that I made, we both made through YouTube. His friend found him because he speaks French and was looking for French, learning videos, and mine found me through my apartment tour video, so that's super fun. So Vince was hanging out with a couple of the guys today, playing video games, and I sequestered myself in our office and ate leftover pizza from their shenanigans and Minecrafted. I edited a video too, but the rest of the time I spent Minecrafting. I am working on a cute little hobbit house in this new world. For any of you guys who Minecraft or don't, I guess I'll explain it for those of you who don't. When you start a new world, you just get dropped into a new place, and they're all different and random, and there's a bunch of different kinds of biomes that kind of converge in interesting ways, and there's mountains and caves to explore, and it's really fun. So I love getting dropped into a new world and seeing if I can find the prettiest spot to build something. And the world that I made last week just happened to be really cool all on its own, with a really sweet dark oak forest, which has these really cool dark crazy shaped trees and a whole bunch of giant mushrooms and cool kind of, I don't know, fairy stuff like that, which is fun. And so I'm making a hobbit house because that seemed fitting for that world, and I thought it would be cute. So that's what I was working on all afternoon. It was fun. It was a good time. I kind of wish I didn't sit in front of the computer all day because now I have to sit in front of the computer for 2 more hours, but at least I'm stitching this time, right? Okay, any of you new folks who are on, I'm just chatting because there's nothing else to do. But comment and participate so that I have something to talk about, because I can guarantee you do not want to hear me talk about Minecraft for 2 hours, which I could do. I could very easily do that, but is that what you want, is the question. Probably not. Let's see. Trying to think of what else has been going on around here. Not much. We were supposed to have dinner with friends last night and got stood up. We even bought special food and we were really excited. It was friends we hadn't seen in a really long time that are from the city, but they are notoriously flaky and they flaked on us last minute and that sucked. So I was really excited to do this tonight and hang out with people since Vincent got his friend time in today with his guys playing video games, but I didn't, because I missed out last night. We ate an entire baguette by ourselves because we bought raclette stuff. That's a traditional French dish. It's kind of the end of raclette season, but it's melted cheese poured over delicious grilled veggies. And we usually have a baguette with that, obviously, because that's French. And I got the really good Irish butter. And we had a baguette, and then nobody came to eat with us. So we ate the entire huge baguette by ourselves. It was so much bread. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but today I feel so bloated and gross from all of that bread that I don't usually eat all the time because it's too much food for me. It was a really bad idea. Let's see. For any of you who I hear that weren't here last time, I'm working on this upside down. It's supposed to look like this, but when you're working on these corners and edges that are kind of, I just have a hard time, my fingers and, the hoop gets in the way. So instead, I just turn it upside down, because with cross stitches, upside down or right side up, as long as you're only doing those two directions, they are the same, because of the way that they're diagonals, the stitches. So anyway, I'm working on this upside down. If it looks weird, it's not that the camera's flipped, it's just me. I'm flipped. Lisa, welcome. Hi. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so glad that you refound your love of cross stitch. That makes me happy because cross stitch is cool. It's evident that it's cool by the cool Star Wars pattern I'm working on. It's pretty fun stuff. Lisa, what are you working on? What kind of project? There's so many different types. We've had people on here not even doing cross stitch also, which is totally cool. This is whatever crafting you want kind of night. But tell me what you're up to. Anna, hi, welcome. Nice to see you in my chat. I'm just stitching away. Last week, I had a bunch of people in the chat mention that when they see Twilight memes, they think of me because I post Twilight memes on my Instagram account all the time, because that's just my thing. I don't know, they're endlessly hilarious to me. But it was so weird because after talking about that, there were multiple movie commentary type YouTubers that were posting fresh new Twilight movie commentary videos. I don't know what is going on, but Twilight is having a weird resurgence, or maybe it just never really went away, but I feel like it's getting more attention lately, and I don't know how to feel about it because I actually have a movie commentary video all filmed that I haven't been able to edit yet because my computer can't handle the giant file sizes, which is actually why we're building a new computer for me, a desktop, because I'm on my MacBook right now. But anyway, I have a Twilight commentary video coming at some point too. I think we should do a Twilight watch together. I was talking to Vincent all week about it. I think that sounds so fun. I think it would be great. There's something else I wanted to tell you guys. I can't remember what it is. Oh well, that's just how it goes, I guess. Oh no. I was saying last week how much I don't love these checkerboard patterns, and I have just a little bit more to get through. Right here and right here. I wonder if I can do that tonight. I feel like I have to pay a little bit more attention because they're kind of hard. It's not easy to do. It's fine. This week I've just been playing Minecraft so much this week. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I'm feeling really creative, but it's not creative like it's really easy to go like edit a bunch of videos. It's like creative where, you know, I need to go build something. There's difference in the type of creativity. Cross stitch and videos just weren't doing it for me. So I ended up playing Minecraft a lot this week, is what I'm trying to say. But my nails got too long. I don't think I've ever had that problem before, because usually when I'm typing I'm fine, but when you're playing like a video game on the computer, you know, you need your fingers to be able to hit the same button over and over again, like to move forward or backward, you know, like motions that you're doing constantly when you're like building something in a game. And my nails got too long to like comfortably play Minecraft. So I usually go every three weeks for an appointment, but I only waited 2 weeks this time. I had to get them shaved down a whole bunch. There, that's a better view. So I also changed them from coffin to almond because I couldn't deal with it anymore. Being able to use a keyboard is non-negotiable. So there you go, there's my new nails. I actually really like the colors I chose though, I think that they're fun. It's called a Skittle manicure, where every nail is like a different color. It's very popular this season, says my friend who is like the resident nail color expert. She has a legit nail account. That's awesome. If you want it, I'll give it to you. Let me know. Okay, who else is on? I don't even know. If anyone here is back from last week, let me know so I can say hello, because I'm excited to see familiar names too. Not that I'm not excited about new people also. I want to know what you guys are working on. I want to know how you're doing. Hi, Anud. How you doing? What you working on? Nice, from Saudi Arabia. That's so cool. What time is it there? That's very far away from where I am. Just stitching this yellow for forever and ever. You make collages. That's so cool. And it's 1 a.m. Are you a night owl? I'm a night owl too. Sometimes my most creative work is at 1 a.m., so I understand. That's very fun. I'm glad you're here. That's very exciting. See, okay, this thread, I said this in my videos, no, maybe in the comments of my videos. I don't know if I ever actually mentioned it in a video, but a lot of people are like, why don't you use the loop method? And it's like, this is why I don't always use the loop method. Do you see how just like kind of frayed and not nice this thread looks? Sometimes I feel like, maybe I'm crazy, but sometimes I feel like when I separate out each thread individually and then like stick it back together to do the loop method where, you know, where you're folding it over, it just makes the thread kind of not stay together as nice as I'm going. I probably just honestly cut this one a little too long to begin with also. But I've found that it's really subjective based on the threads. Like this particular kind of golden color doesn't do well. Whereas like this really dark gray is great. I could do a loop method on that all day long and it would hold together really well. So anyway, if you're wondering why I switch back and forth methods like that, that's why, because it just really depends on the thread color. Sometimes it just really starts to bug me. Casper, hi! You're brand new to my videos! I'm so glad that you found me. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. What are you working on? It's a question I ask everybody. Lisa, attempting to embroider a bowl. Hee, I'm planning on trying to have some flowers through it and make it pretty. Cool! I love embroidery. Lisa, I wonder if you're gonna fall in love with it too. Cross stitch to me is kind of like, feels like an adult coloring book where like it's creative and it's difficult, but you're still kind of, you know, you're following a pattern. So it's not like, it's not as intrinsically creative. It's more, it feels more productive than creative, maybe, is the right way to put that. But embroidery feels so creative to me because it's just so free and you can do whatever you want with it. I love just like freehanding really fun, busy flowers on linen. There's something really cool about that. So we'll have to see what you end up falling in love with. That's what I love about embroidery. Casper, you're crocheting a sweater. That is so fun. I have crocheted one sweater in my life. I think I was 18 or 19 and I tried to give it as a Christmas gift and it was kind of a fail. But I tried. I have not tried since. Lisa, you're a nurse, changing jobs soon, attempting this as a leaving present. I currently work on a colorectal bowel. Wait, so you're doing a bowel like the body part. I thought maybe that was a typo, but now I'm having a hard time picturing it, so you're gonna have to explain, because that sounds really cool. Is it kind of like those kind of anatomical hearts that are really popular with a lot of embroidery right now, where like they make it pretty, but it's like an anatomical heart? Is it an anatomical bowel with flowers? I need to understand, because that sounds really cool. That's so fun. Tell me more, tell me more. Da, 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 da. Anyone else have grease stuck in their head? Gross. I don't know what's happening to me. I probably need to watch it again soon. I've had grease songs stuck in my head lately, which is not great. They're fun, but they're not the highest quality. I've been on a huge kick of TV shows lately, and I think I'm missing some of like the more lighthearted shows and movies. So send me recommendations for old classics to watch so I can reconnect with my childhood self. Lisa, the intestines. That sounds so amazing. Okay, Lisa, find me on Instagram. Send me a picture when it's done, or when it's in progress, whatever you're comfortable with. I don't want to make you feel embarrassed, but I want to see it, and I bet it's amazing, and that sounds awesome. And also tell me what job you're switching to, if you want to, because that sounds like a big deal to switch jobs from what you're doing also. Casper, first time making one, taught myself how to crochet like a month ago, and I've been pretty obsessed with it ever since. Yes, crochet is so great. That was like probably my first love. Cross stitch was something that I kind of switched to when we got married in like 2017, and we were living in France, and then we moved to New York City, and I just didn't have a lot of space in my luggage, so I switched to something that, you know, where the materials are a lot smaller and easier to transport. But crochet is what I grew up with, and that's very fun, and I'm so glad that you are discovering it. And send me a picture of your sweater. I just want to see what everyone's working on. That's so fun. You guys are making me want to crochet. We had this conversation last week also with some people who are working on crochet projects. Crocheting is very therapeutic, and it's just, there's something like so cozy about just being surrounded by balls of yarn. I just really love it. A nude. Same with collage. You like free collages? I've never made commissions, maybe one day. Collaging is so amazing. There's a couple of Instagram accounts I follow that do collages. Message me on there if you want me to send them to you. They're my faves, and they're very, very inspiring. And I can't think of the names right now because I'm not good with names. But that's super fun. I have collage walls. Stayed up many a late night putting those together. That was a fun project during quarantine, back when we like really couldn't leave the house. I ordered National Geographic magazines, and we went to a few used bookshops, and then I ordered some prints from an influencer photographer, and then I put it all together, and it was a good project. What else is everyone working on? Lisa's working on some intestines. Casper's working on a sweater, and he's working on a collage. Ooh, Lisa! New job as a nutrition specialist nurse. That sounds so cool. I don't think I've ever heard of like a nutrition specialist in the context of like a more, you know, advanced medical thing. I've only ever heard of like nutrition, you know, like health coach type of stuff. So what would it be like if you're doing something, you know, at the nursing level? What kind of patients or like conditions would you be treating? Because I don't know anything about it. That sounds really cool though. Oh. Also, the wind is so freaking loud. I had to move all of our plants to the window right over here because we put in our AC units finally. It got to be like 70 degrees the other day. It was magical. All the snow's melted. All the trees are starting to have leaves pop out again. But anyway, so we had to move the AC units into the windows and move the plants over to the windows that don't have AC units in them. But anyway, so all my plants are in this one window. And it was open because like the weather's really nice today. But then it got super windy. And this gust of wind came and blew all of the dirt from my plants like into the room. So our whole floor is like dirty. I have to clean it. I didn't get a chance before this live stream. So now every time I hear the wind, I just am reminded that there's soil all over our floor. So annoying. Also, Lisa, I'm sorry I'm asking you so many questions. You're probably like, I'd really like to just work on this piece, please. Instead, I have to type out these responses. You don't know I have to. Don't feel obligated. We're just having a conversation because there aren't that many people on the stream yet. It's so hard to get like clean stitches when you get down to doing these last little ones squeezed in here. Sorry, I know I'm like blocking the view. I'm having to lean over a whole bunch to try to make sure I get my thread in the right spot. Anna, still working on the 11 count stamped galaxy. Cool. As you can see, I'm still working on my same project too. I really need to spend some more time on it. I just have been struggling to pick it up lately, which is why I'm so glad we're doing this. And I'm so glad I scheduled it for earlier so I can be on longer. It's just overall a good thing. Kicked the boys out of the house. Vince and his two friends. One of them brought a really cool Fujifilm camera that they're gonna go play with in the park. Like, bye boys, have fun. It's nice. We're so excited to like finally be making friends here. It's been so long that we've been in New York City and just haven't had people to hang out with, and it's so fun, like hard to find people in your neighborhood because, you know, there's 8 million people in the city and it's a big city. So anyway, we got really lucky with a couple friends here just that we've made in like the last month, maybe month and a half, and I feel like we're all really close already, and like we're all kind of in the same bubble. A couple of them are vaccinated already even because of their jobs, which is, feels good. Feels good. We're excited. Casper, yes, that's the plan for streaming. Excuse me. There's an auto shop at the end of our street. And there's also a lot of Dominicans in our neighborhood that really like their loud cars. So when they go get whatever it is they get put on their cars that make them so loud, they like to test drive up and down our street. Sorry about that, but yes, Casper, streaming every week is the plan. I used to stream consistently when I was doing AuthorTube, and then I stopped when I stopped doing anything. So I'm just starting back up, but Sunday nights will probably be the nights. I will always try to do it early enough for the UK people to come in on the late side. I know 11 is really late, but that's kind of the plan. Just hang out. I think sometime maybe we'll do like some kind of movie watch, or I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. I'm not very literate in like Twitch and stuff, so you know, we'd have to watch it somewhere else than YouTube for copyright reasons, but we'll figure something out. It'll be fun. I have plans. Carved Place to Be. Hey, hi, how are you? Welcome. So glad you're here. Lisa, mainly assess and support patients who have had artificial Oh, cool. Artificial nutrition. That's, okay, that makes perfect sense, and that is fascinating to me. I feel like that's so, it's like it's not, you know, surgery with robots or something, but it feels really cutting edge, and that people can live so much more normally with really extreme conditions than they would have been able to before. And you helped make that happen, and that's so cool. I'm excited for you and your new job. Let us know how it goes if you come back to our weekly streams in the future. Casper, yes, it is cool. Sorry. I've been drinking water all day, and I still feel like so dehydrated. I don't know what is going on. It's been like that the last couple days. I wonder if it's the weather changing. Like, suddenly it went from 30 degrees to like 50 degrees, and I just feel so thirsty. I don't know what's going on. Lisa, nutrition specialist, tell me why I'm so thirsty. Just kidding. Also, okay, I don't know if I mentioned this in a vlog or anything. I don't think I did. New York City water is usually the best water in the country. Like, has been for a long time. Like, the reason that New York City bagels and pizza are so great and so special to New York is because of the tap water that's used. It's just like extra filtered and clean, or whatever minerals are in it. I don't know, whatever it is. Historically, the entire time I've lived here, which was from 2012 to almost 2015, and then now from 2019 till now, it's the best water, and I brag about it, and I say, drink right out of the tap. It's ice cold and delicious. Anyway, around November, December, the water betrayed me. And it became the grossest water I've ever had. I thought maybe it was residual stuff from COVID. Just like, I thought that maybe I was just like extra sensitive to any little bits of chlorine in it, or I didn't know what it was. I thought it was me. But I've been hanging out on Reddit. Ask NYC, somebody posted on that subreddit about their water situation. And apparently everyone's water has been horrible. It has something to do with like them closing down one of the reservoirs that they usually use to like change out valves or something, but our water literally went from being tasteless, ice cold, and delicious to like I can smell the chlorine when we turn on the tap, and if we leave it, or if we filter it and leave it in the fridge or anything like that, it ends up tasting really moldy. Like, the chlorine's there to stop whatever would be growing in it, and so you can't even filter out the chlorine because then whatever's growing in it is still going to grow. Anyway, it's a nightmare. And I've always just drank tap water. Like, I've never been a bottled water person, but I've been having all these, like, lengthy conversations with people on Reddit, and apparently everybody is having problems with the water. Like, there's a whole bunch of New Yorkers that are, you know, earth conscious and don't want to buy bottled water that literally cannot drink this disgusting tap water. Anyway, I'm dying. So I think maybe that's why I'm extra thirsty, because I don't like wasting water, but then I need to drink bottled water because otherwise I just literally can't keep down the other gross tap water, and it's the biggest first world problem ever, and I probably shouldn't complain about it at all, but it's like borderline undrinkable. I'm about to call 311 and complain. That's the local New York City complaint line. But it's like such a bummer. And I feel really guilty. But I need to drink water. I started to get dehydration headaches like every day because I just wasn't drinking enough. Vincent is fine with it. He doesn't have like super sensitive taste or stomach anyway. Like, he can really kind of do whatever he wants because he's lucky. But he's fine with it. It's just me that can't drink it. Anyway, so I think I'm on my second bottle today, but that's probably not enough. I probably need to have closer to like 3 or 4. I don't know, man. I'm real tired of it. There's the scoop. That's the worst thing that's happening in my life right now, is that our tap water tastes really, really, really bad. Lisa, I'm so glad that you're excited for your job. I think that sounds amazing. Okay. I don't know if you guys noticed what I just did, which is not put any knots in my thread. When I made that first beginning cross stitch tips video that a lot of people found me through, I had no idea that would be so groundbreaking for so many people. I almost probably didn't include that tip because I felt like it was dumb or that it would make sense. So I'm very glad that one worked for people because it sure does make life easier. It's a good time. Crafty place to be. What are you working on? If you're working on anything, let me know. And Anna, how big is your Galaxy project? Sorry, fixing the camera. Sometimes it like goes into like sleep mode, I think. Yeah, at least I hope that they fix the water soon too. I've been putting Crystal Light in it sometimes, or even just like a little bit of lemon juice. But I feel like I need like water. Like I really love just water, and it's like what my brain and my body crave is like normal water. So like I kind of have been switching back and forth. We have like the iced tea. There's lemon iced tea Crystal Light that's really good. It has kind of a subtle flavor. So if I can have that with ice and then an extra little shot of lemon juice, that tastes fine. Like it totally masks the flavor. But then I'm having like all these chemicals and all this other stuff, and still moldy chlorine-y tap water. It's the worst. It's supposed to be temporary, but you know how long those kind of government projects take. I have no idea when they're actually going to be finished with whatever pipeline they're fixing. Lisa, I'm so glad you love that tip. And a crafty place to be. Oh, I literally just asking what you were working on. No pressure. I ask every single person who pops up what they're working on. Let me know. I'm just curious. And I usually ask everyone to send me pictures too because I want to see it. And I'll share it if you send it, if you want me to. Or not. Whatever you want. I just like the idea of having friends that do crafty stuff with me because I've been alone for my entire life doing this. Like, probably like most people who do these kinds of crafts, you just kind of do them by yourself most of the time. I usually do them while I watch shows or, listen to podcasts. So it's so fun to feel like there's people that are doing things with me. Even if I can't see you, at least we can all chat. It's a good time. I also am doing very much better on stitching today. Last time, I don't know, I was like nervous and I wasn't looking at my project enough, and I got my thread like hopelessly tangled. I think like 3 times at the beginning of the stream last week. It was horrible. Go back and watch it if you want to just cringe because it makes me cringe. I was like, what's happening? I never usually get really bad knots because I'm usually careful. But it just wasn't working for me. I need to actually look at what I'm doing. Casper, yes, totally get that. I feel like you're the only person who likes these crafty things. Yeah, there's even been times where I've tried to teach friends, and it just like, I feel like it's so something that you have to get interested on your own and like take the time to figure out for yourself like your own methods and techniques. It is so hard to teach other people it. It's hard to do it together, like with friends and stuff, especially when I was younger. Like I'm 20, almost 27 now, so now I have more friends that like to sit around and do this kind of stuff than I did when I was a teenager. But it's just really hard to find people to do this with, I have found. There's very few. There's a lot of us worldwide, but few of us in one place where it's easy to like get together. From what I can tell, at least. Maybe I just haven't looked in the right places, I don't know. It also would maybe just be that the last year I haven't tried to look, and so I feel like there isn't any because it's been so long since I looked. Crafty place to be. Working on long stitch cushion kits you recently bought. Usually do cross stitch, but it's kind of taken over my life. I'm working on a massive heaven and earth design. Oh, those are something else. I'm on the cross stitch subreddit. Anytime I see a completed heaven and earth one, I start sweating because I just can't imagine that many hours of effort. So that is commendable and very exciting. And I know what you mean about cross stitch taking over your life. That's where I'm at too. That's the kind of year it's been, right? Oh no, look what I did. This happens to me sometimes. I don't have a good technique when, like, on the underside, because I'm not looking at it, right? I use like one hand up and one hand under to move faster. So sometimes I accidentally stitch through my thread and then it gets tangled. It's not hard to untangle. You just have to like kind of pull it apart and see where it all got stitched together so that you can unstitch it to like put it back through. This is the one area that I actually probably need to adjust my technique a little bit because it's just not a good technique. It's not helping me. There we go. Crafty place to be, totally agree. I know no one who does cross stitch, and whenever you tell someone, they always give you that look where they just don't understand why you do it. Yep. It's even, I found with cross stitch in particular, tell me if you guys are the same, like a project like this takes hundreds of hours. It's like hundreds of thousands of individual stitches, right? But it's kind of hard. Like, I remember when I first started cross stitching, I was shocked at how long it ended up taking, and it was actually awful because I had planned on making these cute, like a few little fun designs for some Christmas gifts, and some of them were embroidered and some of them were cross stitched, and the cross stitch ones ended up taking so long I didn't even get to like do all the ones that I wanted to do for the holidays that year for like my mom and my grandma and people. I was like, oh, so this is the kind of project that literally takes hours, years, days, whatever, like ages to complete compared to like other kinds of projects. Anyway, so I think that adds another layer of loneliness to cross stitch in particular because it's just like there's so many hours you have to spend. There's no way you could spend that amount of hours with another person doing it, and if you only work on it like once a week, I mean you can, there's tons of people that do, but then the project is just literally sitting there for years until you get around to finishing it. So yeah, cross stitch in particular, time intensive and lonely. Crafty place to be. Heaven and Earth is pretty intense. Working on it 2 years and only on 40%. Yeah, I mean, that's probably where I would be too. And I literally, this is kind of my job these days, is cross stitching. They are a lot. I think that's kind of a bucket list crafting thing for me because I love their designs. They're beautiful. I'm not ready to commit that amount of time yet. And I don't have space to store unfinished projects long term. They need to be up on the wall or they're getting recycled into something else. Sarah, hi from Turkey. Love it. Casper, yeah, some people just don't have the patience, I guess. I don't think that they do. Crochet can be the same way depending on what kind of crochet you're doing. Some things are really fast, but some things are really slow depending on how big your project is and how big your needle or your crochet hook is and all of that. I'm just gonna adjust. That's better. I'm like getting to the bottom of my hoop. I thought about having music. If you guys feel like this needs music, let me know. I can also just talk. I spend all day at home mostly being quiet because my husband is teaching French. He has a busier schedule now than he's ever had. We were really worried about the pandemic hurting business, but luckily it turns out that he is really good at teaching through Zoom. He has all the bells and whistles and he makes it really fun for his students, and so his students who used to meet him in person are now happy meeting him over Zoom, and I don't think it'll ever go back. So anyway, because he could just be home working, he can work a lot more hours. So right now he's teaching, like, physically sitting in front of the computer with the camera on, talking to people for about 40 hours every week. And then that's not to mention, his side gig with his YouTube channel. He does live streams on the weekends and all the other stuff. So needless to say, there's a lot of time where people are, on Zoom with him in this office in here, and I'm just kind of like hanging out in the rest of the house. So he talks all the time and needs a break on the weekends, but I don't get to talk to people all day long, usually. I vlog, when I have things to vlog, and then every once in a while I see friends. But most of the time I'm just here hanging out. So this is like my social time, and I love it so much. And because of that, it's easy to just chat. But let me know if you ever want me to turn on music. I have the subscriptions to like the copyright free music that I use in all my YouTube videos, and it's good stuff. I haven't made any playlists or anything, but I could always do that if you feel like you want to have that. If you don't just want me talking, I get it. It's hard for me to know because from my perspective, I'm the one talking. So I don't know how it is on your end. But either way, it's fine. I won't be offended. I just want to give you a place where you can feel like you're crafting with someone, because we just talked about how lonely it is, and I don't know, I think it feels good to have people to be creative with, even if it's virtually. But that doesn't mean that you're here to listen to me monologue necessarily, which I get. It's all good. I personally am just really, really, really excited for summer. I don't know if you guys are feeling this. Depending on where you are in the world, obviously makes a difference. Here in New York City, vaccines are moving at lightning fast speeds. I've been talking to my husband about this, because he's French, right? So we have different perspectives, because it's really interesting how it's worked in different parts of the world. In France, his whole family, it was, no big deal to quarantine and wear masks, and there's no one complaining about it and no crazy things happening over it. And yet, on the flip side, vaccines have moved really slowly because the government has been struggling to get things moving on that front. So it's interesting because it's like, culturally, the people are, better at working together to keep each other safe, but, getting back to normal is a little bit harder for them as far as vaccines, etc. go. So when I contrast that with what we experience here in the US, it's just like, man, Americans have really struggled being told not to do anything. Sit at home, don't see your friends. That's really been hard for people, to the point where they make up a lot of excuses why they can't do it. But the flip side of that is that as soon as there is something to do, like organizing a massive vaccine push, suddenly it's like everybody's moving so fast and it's so easy to get things done, which is fascinating. I don't know which is better. I don't know. None of it's been fun. I think wherever you are in the world, none of it's been fun. But I just think that it's really interesting how, the way that we view taking care of each other, or patriotism, or being a good neighbor, just changes so much place to place. Vincent and I have conversations like that constantly. Just, being a combination of two different cultures, two really different cultures too. French and American cultures are so different. But that being said, now that there is something to do, which is get everybody vaccinated, things are moving so fast in New York City. So I think by the summer things might look pretty normal here, which, I haven't even allowed myself to think about normal. I've just tried to adjust to what it's been, and I'm pretty used to wearing a mask now and all of that. It just feels really normal. I never forget them anymore like I did at the beginning. But I'm hoping this summer is going to be real fun. We're going to have to see. It might be kind of a renaissance a little bit, I think the year has just gone by in such a blur so far because there just hasn't been anything to do yet. I can't believe that Easter is in a couple weeks. What is that? It's not Easter. 2021 just started. What are you talking about? But nope, it's almost here. Time is flying. But so are vaccines. So I'm very excited. I think that this summer is going to be really amazing and fun, and I hope that there's lots to do. And I hope that for all of you too, because I really need it. The other night we had dinner with friends. We haven't done that in months. Like, it's gotten to the point where, you know, we're still COVID safe, but it's like, it's gotten to the point where we have to take care of our mental health too. And if that means being a little bit more at risk without putting, you know, people outside our little circle at risk, then like we just need to do it, because we're kind of just really mentally done with the isolation. But I just, like, we were sitting on the floor eating Thai food and drinking wine, just like, this is so normal, like so weirdly normal. It felt thrilling just to like go for spontaneous Thai food with friends. I have such a new appreciation for all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't need any big outings or anything this summer. Like, we're gonna see what happens. We're probably gonna stay domestic if we end up being able to travel anywhere. I would love to go to Disney World, but I'm not going until there's no masks. So, you know, even if we can literally just take a trip up north for like a few days and stay in a cabin in the woods, I don't care. I'm just excited to like do something. It's going to be amazing. I've been thinking about that so much. So if you guys have any ideas for things to do this summer, that it's kind of hard because I don't feel like we can plan anything yet, but I also know that like us getting vaccinated is right around the corner, and then at that point I think it'll feel a lot more possible. But man, you guys are my therapist for this week because my therapist is out of town. I haven't talked to her this week. Anna, 57 by 41 centimeters. That still sounds big. How big? I'm going to look that up. I'm going to grab my measuring tape. It's right behind me. And we're going to look at 57 by 41. I need to know. Casper, definitely. I live in Canada. The snow's starting to melt. I'm stoked. Yes, that is very exciting. The snow disappeared here so fast. It was freezing. We had feet of snow, and then suddenly it wasn't. And it was like so warm. Okay, Anna, this project is not small. This looks pretty big to me. Color me impressed. If you think that this is not big, I want to see what you think a big project is, because that's still bigger than probably any project I've ever done. At least with cross stitch. I've done big projects with like crochet and stuff, but not needlepoint crafts. Not that big. That's very impressive. Yeah, Casper, what activities are you excited about in Canada? Because obviously New York City, it's like concerts in the parks and heading out to the Hamptons or the Rockaways, like to the beach, or honestly just being able to walk around in a sundress and eat ice cream on the street. That would be nice. But what are you excited about in Canada? New York City is so specific, like with the kind of activities that we do. So I like hearing about other places too. Obviously, I grew up in Arizona. Like, I know what we do there, but again, Arizona is completely different than Canada. Crafty place to be. You live in the UK. Snow is rare here. Yeah, I feel like you guys, I don't know, you guys get more rain, right? You probably get similar weather to what New York City has gotten the last several years. We used to get a lot more snow, but thanks to climate change, now it's like we get maybe one snowstorm and then mostly just rain. We didn't have, I think we had total like a few inches of snow last winter. It was really depressing. Andrea, hi, someone on your channel like an hour ago. So excited to be here in cross stitch with you for a bit. I'm so excited that you're here too. Welcome. That is so fun. Perfect timing. We do this, well, I'm hesitant to say we do this because this is new. This is only the second time, but I'm planning on doing this every Sunday night. It's just a good time to get together and craft. Casper, a big outdoor community where you live. You do lots of mountain biking and rock climbing. That sounds so fun. We have a friend here, the roommate of one of my friends that I met here in the neighborhood, that bikes, has like really nice bikes, and they take their bikes down and then cross the George Washington Bridge into New Jersey, and then they'll go bike over there. I would love to do any kind of biking. Vincent's been talking about getting a bike for ages, but we just have it because we don't have a place to put it. But I really miss biking. It's one of my favorites. That sounds really fun. Rock climbing, on the other hand, absolutely not. Terrifying. I actually was really good at rock climbing when I was little. We used to do Taekwondo summer camp, me and my little sister. I was really athletic when I was younger, and I remember this one time we went to a rock climbing wall, and I was going really fast, and I was small and athletic, so I could just climb up that wall pretty easily. And all the kids started calling me Spider Woman because I was the fastest one. And that's my one claim to fame with rock climbing, because as soon as I got old enough to be afraid of heights, I can't do it anymore. It's terrifying. I get like heart palpitations if I think about rock climbing at all anymore. But one time some kids called me Spider Woman when I was little. So it's something I could have been good at if I ever overcame my fear. Chelsea, you live in Australia in which we had snow. You're in your 20s and never seen it. Chelsea. As soon as this pandemic is over, if you ever want to take a trip to New York City, come in the winter. We'll show you all the snow. It'll be a good time. I'll help you build a snowman. We'll go look at the frozen fountain in Bryant Park. It'll be a nice break from the summer heat for you because the seasons are reversed in Australia, right? If I remember correctly. That's how that works. Lisa, super excited to hopefully do some camping trips. Yes, we have a tent. We have one small tent and one hammock. We don't have any other camping equipment. I used to have all my camping equipment when I was going to school in Utah, where it's all outdoors all the time with everybody. I used to always have my tent and sleeping bag in my car, and we would just go for spontaneous like trips out into the woods to sleep at night sometimes. I think when Vincent and I very first got together, he came to Utah. We met on Tinder. He was coming to visit the U.S. from France, and I happened to be where he was coming to visit, so we met on Tinder. And we went on a camping trip during that month together. That was like one of the first kind of longer times we spent together was going camping. I actually do have fond memories of camping. We just haven't figured out how to do that up here yet because it requires renting a car, which is a hassle. But we just made friends with cars, so maybe this summer we'll be able to do that. I would love to go camping again. Casper, I love that last minute camping. Yep, that's where it's at. I think that's something that's really easy to do when you're 21. That's when I was in school. But now I feel like I'd want to have like more gear, more stuff. I don't know, just more of everything. Better food. I couldn't just live on s'mores now for a night. That wouldn't work for me. Guys, I'm almost done with this stupid checkerboard part. I'm so excited. I just heard Vincent. I think he's back. Vincent! I don't know if he's going to come in. Sorry, I should have warned you before I yelled. He won't come in because it'll bother me, but does your anxiety ever kick in? Oops. Does your anxiety ever kick in when you're like home alone and you hear the door open and like you know it's your person that's coming home because you're expecting them home, but you still kind of feel like you want some confirmation because it's scary? Hello?
Hi.
You back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Do you have so much fun in the park with the boys?
It was cold, but it was super fun.
Good.
Just wanted to take this.
You're good. Bye, I love you. Guys, I messed up. I'm just gonna undo this last stitch. This thread is shredded. I don't want to try to put it back in my needle. So I'll just cinch it up with my next one. I messed up. Where is it, is the question. Oh, that's why it's in the middle. Still less of a screw up than last week. So I think we're doing pretty good. Okay, forget it. I will put it back on my needle then, I guess. Ugh, so fibery. You know when you get to the end of your thread, things get kind of weird. Gross. But you know what? This is a live stream, so I can't cut out all the bits where I mess up like I can on a edited video. So you just get to watch me struggle, which is fine. It'll just make you feel better about yourself. I'm willing to sacrifice my perfect image for the sake of solidarity with all my crafting sisters. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, did I get it? I got it! Guys, I did it. That was so hard. Okay. I just need to make this one last stitch and then we're ending this thread because it's too shredded on the end. I can't deal with it anymore. Okay, that was close. I almost had to try to jerry-rig it. But we're good. Everything's good. We're fine. Everyone's okay. We made it out alive. No harm done. Dun dun dun. Cool. Okay. Guys, we're moving fast. I am literally almost done with this stupid checkerboard part that I hate. I'm so glad you're here to get me through this. Andrea, yes. The Etsy shop is called Awesome Pattern Studio. They don't have the best stuff. They have so many fun ones. They don't have as much variety in overall subject matter as I'd like, if that makes sense. Like, they have a million different Star Wars ones, which is awesome. But I also don't need more than one Star Wars pattern for my wall. They have a lot of other fun stuff too. That's not Star Wars, obviously. And they have like every major city in the world, which is so fun. I made a Mexico City one for my grandma. And I have a Nice, France one that I'm working on too, that I haven't touched in ages, but I still have it. But yeah, their city ones are really cool too. They do have so many good stuff. The shop that I got, I can't remember the name of this shop just because it's a newer one to me, and I'm so terrible with names. But the one that I got, and if you look at like my starting something new video, since you asked for other recommendations, the starting something new video, I have a pattern for this Welcome to Rohan poster, and they have a ton of other really cool, kind of retro looking posters with like really, really nice color palettes, I think. Aren't overly complicated, are a good size. They have all the major Lord of the Rings locations. They have Hogsmeade, like they have a bunch of Harry Potter ones. They just have a ton of really fun stuff that's kind of subtle. I like subtle nerd, not overly over the top. I don't want it to instantly be like, wow, you're a big fan. I want it to just kind of blend in with my wall. But anyway, yeah, go look on that video too, because that shop has some awesome stuff also that I'm excited about. That's my most recent discovery. Anna, that's still great. I mean, I think that's the cool thing about cross stitch is that it's easy to pick it back up, and I would say probably, tell me if you guys agree, but most of you here just work on projects like on the weekends and when in your off time. Andrea, Country Magic Stitch. Yes, there you go. I know I linked it. Yeah, that one, I just love the color palettes of all of their patterns, and they look really good. Like they're, they print really nicely and stuff. I always have to look for that too. There's another pattern that I haven't shown anyone yet. Let me see. Okay, let me look and see on my phone what the shop is, because they have some really fun stuff too. You can see my phone. That's weird. Whatever. Let's see. Etsy is my most recent Etsy purchase, or at least my most recent. It was not my most recent. That was a lie. Okay, it was from Part-Time Stitcher. Look up Part-Time Stitcher, because on Etsy also, they have some really cool ones too that aren't, they're just different. I purchased, I think it's them. I just remembered I ordered 2 patterns in the same day. Let me see if it was the right one. No, it's wrong. Let me see. Sorry, this is very chaotic, I know. Rin stitch. Sorry, it was RIN stitch. I'll type it in the chat. But look up Rin stitch. I ordered a couple patterns on the same day and I looked at the wrong email. There you go. I just ordered a mandrake. It's so cool. It looks like it is a page out of like an old botanical book, just like explaining mandrakes, you know, the magical plant from Harry Potter. But it's super cute. I'm obsessed with it, and I have, obviously, my projects, I have way too many. I haven't finished this one, and then I gotta do the Rohan one, and then I can do the mandrake one. But I have it ready to go. I started ordering the threads for it already because I am so excited about it. So if you look that one up, tell me if you find it, if you feel like doing a quick Etsy search. That's another one I'm excited about. I ordered another pattern. They're only like $3 or $4, you know, if you just get the PDF. So I just kind of, when I see them, I order them just so I have them on hand. Stupid camera. I ordered another one, but I'm not even gonna, I think that was the part-time stitcher one. The pattern looked relatively simple, and I didn't look closely enough at it, and it was like, it's massive. And it looks way better not massive. Like, I wanted something that was smaller. It was like another Harry Potter one, subtle. It was like for Ollivander's Wand Shop. It was just like a kind of a shop sign, you know, that could stay in a hoop, and I thought that a circle would be nice on my wall, so I wanted to make a hoop-sized one cross-stitch pattern. Anyway, it's like way bigger than a hoop. It just happens to be circle, and so it was deceiving. Anyway, so I bought that one. I think it's from Part-Time Stitcher. They have a bunch of fun patterns, but the sizing is like not good. So that was my mistake on that one. I might still do it eventually, just because I do like how it looks, but it's gonna be big, and it's a circle. It's a big circle, which is weird. Anyway, the Rin Stitch Mandrake one is really cute, though. Andrea, you found it. Okay. Part-Time Stitcher, they might have disappeared. Their patterns are not high quality, so don't recommend. I think, honestly, the one that I bought, they only had one that you could buy. Super weird. So they might have been scammy, because there's a lot of that on Etsy. That was one of my videos that surprisingly has gotten a lot of views, is like me getting scammed on Etsy. I don't know if any of you guys have watched that. It was from during Vlogmas. But apparently a lot of people have been scammed on Etsy, because a lot of people left comments like, this happened to me too, and I don't know what to do, and like all this stuff. It's insane. But it could have been a shop like that. They just post a bunch of like low quality things, and then as soon as they sell them out, they disappear. So if you can't find it, that's probably why, I have a feeling. Now that I've had some Etsy scam experience, that's what I'm thinking. Andrea, I try to only work on one at a time. At least like actively working on it. I do think that it's wise to have multiple projects ready to go at a time, because sometimes it can be kind of hard to acquire all the right threads. Like, I know for me, there has not been a single time where I've been able to get all of my threads for a project at once. Almost every time I've had to either make multiple orders, or like, it just has always been a little bit complicated. I do have good sources. Usually, like 123 Stitch usually does have a pretty good stock of like colors, but even then there's been ones that have said they're in stock, and then once I place the order, it'll like send me an email like, I'm so sorry, it's actually out of stock. Like, it's annoying. So there's been a few times where it's like I'm ready to start a project and I didn't have what I needed. So now I always have multiple projects lined up, so that every time I'm buying thread, I'm buying for multiple projects, so that if there's ones that are sold out that take a few weeks to get there or whatever, like, it just isn't a problem, because I'm not in a rush. So I actively work on one at a time, but I'm always planning for the next one. I also really just like this particular hoop that I use. It's I got it in France, and I haven't found any that are exactly like it here in the US. So because I don't want to take my project in and out multiple times. I tried to avoid doing that as much as possible just to save the integrity of everything. That's the other reason I just don't like to switch it out very much, because it's risky, I think. I think if you're tempted to have more on the go, I think that is totally fine. It just depends on your stitching style. Like, I'm too used to using 2 hands to stitch. So I can't really imagine having smaller hoops that I'm working on. I think it would bother me too much. That's one reason I honestly, more than I do multiple cross-stitch projects, I just have multiple types of crafting that I do, like crochet or embroidery or making YouTube videos or Minecrafting. I kind of have diversified that way more than I have with like stitching projects, I think. Andrea, yes, working upside down because I'm on this edge and it's really hard with my hand underneath. If I'm this way, my fingers are just like right up against the edge of my hoop right here, and it's really hard on my wrist that way. So I just turn it over. Oops. Turn it over. I turn my pattern over also, so it's upside down, and I just work on it upside down. Because the stitches are going the same direction, right side up or upside down, thanks to them being diagonals, you know. Pro tip. That's something I didn't include in my beginning cross-stitch tips video that will probably be in a future one if I ever make another cross-stitch tips video. Because that's something that I kind of discovered relatively recently myself, just by chance. Andrea, yep. Not cool, just out of necessity. Just didn't have a choice. It's my own fault. The reason that I have to do that is because I am using this. This is the very last of the cross-stitch fabric that I bought in France. And so it's like, it's a really big rectangle, and this project is a square. So I wasn't sure how close the edge it would be. I wasn't even sure it would fit on here. It obviously totally does. I didn't estimate the number of stitches right, so we're totally good on size, which I'm really relieved about. But there isn't enough fabric on the sides like that there should be. So I have to do this out of necessity, just because this is just the size of the fabric piece that I had, and it's just too close to the edge, really. It's kind of annoying. I just really wanted to use this one last big piece on one bigger project instead of trying to split it up into smaller projects, because it was going to be the same problem, just on a smaller scale. Just figured I'd not worry about it and just get it done. Ooh, speaking of which, fabric sourcing. I haven't had a ton of experience buying cross-stitch fabric because, you use it in very small increments at a time. I get linen for cheap when I do embroidery, but this cross-stitch fabric, we just found like a local fabric store. It was when we were in France, downtown Cannes. There's a few fabric stores, totally overpriced and limited selection, but one of them happened to have this like Aida fabric, and I didn't even know what the count size was or anything, because I didn't know anything about cross stitch at the time, and so I was just like, yep, that works, that looks fine. I just bought it, and it's what I've used for a lot of my projects. But I recently bought more fabric, finally. This one's 14 count, I believe, from what I've measured. But the new projects I started obviously I needed to get more fabric for. So I just bought the tubes of fabric from Michaels, which is fine. It works, but that's all I've been able to really find online, at least here in the US. So let me know if you guys have, this is very long-winded, but let me know if you guys have any other good sources for kind of fabric that you can buy a little bit more in bulk. I just feel weird spending as much as I did. I don't know, it was like 12 or 13 bucks. It wasn't expensive, but for just a few square feet of fabric, that just seemed really expensive compared to what I could get in France for about the same price. So because I got at least a yard or two of this when I was in France, and it wasn't, I mean, I got a good amount. It's lasted a long time. But anyway, yeah, if you guys have any good fabric sources, I'm really good on thread, I'm good on needles, I'm good on patterns. Fabric is the one area that I think is my weakest point for like sourcing affordable, good options, economical, whatever. Well, let me know. You guys are probably more experts than I am in that area. Let's see. Okay. We good. 7 o'clock, we've been stitching for an hour. I am so glad I scheduled this for earlier. I scheduled it for 6 instead of 8. Last time I had to do 8 just because I had something to do earlier in the day, and I kind of scheduled it like on Friday for Sunday. It was just like super last minute because I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to have all the equipment I needed in time, but I did. So this time, since I've now had the equipment for a week, I could plan a little bit longer crafting session. So I'm going to be on until about 8, like another 50 minutes or so. Because cross-stitching is slow and it takes time, and 2 hours of cross-stitching is nothing. It's not that much. I'm not going to get very far. But 2 hours is still better than nothing, so I'm glad to be here for at least that. Let's see. Andrea, based in UK. Latest order was from Lakeside Needlecraft. Okay, money-wise. Cool. Yeah, you're new to it too. It's just like something you don't have to do nearly as frequently as some of the other parts of cross-stitching. I have to buy thread a whole hell of a lot more than I have to buy fabric. It's not something that I'm very good at. I guess I really am set up for the next little while, but like I'm good for the Mandrake project, and I'm good for the Rohan project. Obviously I already started that one in that last video that I did, but I don't know about the next ones. The other thing too is like the fabric, the official like Ada, how do you say that, Ada fabric that you can get in the tubes, like that's, you know, whatever, it's a lot stiffer, and I don't remember this ever being that stiff. It always seemed to be a lot more like soft to me. I don't know what they treat the other one with, but I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it's better or worse. Maybe I'm just used to this, but stiffer is better. But I don't like how hard it is to put in the hoop and stuff compared to this one. So I don't know if there's like a difference in how it's treated depending on which brand you buy from or whatever. I don't know if that makes a difference too. That's something I noticed is like it's way harder to put in my hoop than this one ever was. Otherwise, I'm good on everything else. My latest thing that I have been super into is wanting to get a complete set of DMC thread. I only use DMC just because it's so much easier, and it is high quality, and it's a French company, so I feel like I need to support it because France. But lately, looking at people's like stashes of their completed 35 color thread collections is just, it's everything. I like have been in such a mood to just go and start buying thread just to buy thread. I'm resisting currently, but I think with like some of the sources that I found on Etsy and otherwise, you know, 123 Stitch, a few other places for buying thread, you could do it for a couple $100s. Like it's really not too bad, depending on how much you allot to your crafting. Anyway, that might be something that happens this year because I can't stop looking at everyone's beautiful thread collection. Let's see. Cassie, are you no longer writing? Just curious. Also, this is beautiful. Cassie, that's a great question. I have not been writing. Sometimes I open up my projects and I look at them and I feel bad about not working on them. But I have not touched them. I think that eventually I will come back to them because the ideas are still rolling around in my head. But because it's not a career, it's something I'll never make money from. It's something that I also am totally fine shelving until I feel like I want to touch it again. Writing was really crucial for me when I was doing AuthorTube was really crucial for me as I was like trying to figure out my life. I got married, 2 years earlier, and I was trying to adjust to like being a married Mormon person. There's just so much that goes along with that you can't really be prepared for, and I was trying to adjust, and I was really struggling with how to make that work. And writing was like the perfect, intense kind of escape from trying to figure that out. But as soon as we started to really try to figure it out, it just like, it sent us down a whole nother path of like so many life changes, so much depression, so much anxiety, so much of really hard stuff that I feel like writing kind of, for right now, it's gotten lost in the graveyard of some of that life that I left, if that makes sense. So it's very vague because I don't know who's watching. I don't want to offend anybody. But that's kind of the gist of it for me right now, is like I just haven't been able to touch it. I think it's kind of a psychological, emotional thing because it's so tied up in trying to find something creative that also felt like something I could do as a Mormon wife, if that makes sense. That probably doesn't. And anyone who, if there's anyone on here who is Mormon, they're like, that's a dumb thing to think because no one's telling you have to do that. I know, that was just my thing. Sorry. But yeah, I want to come back to it, but I'm struggling. I think about it sometimes. So I'm glad you asked because I need to think about it. Maybe I should talk to my therapist about it. I think I will come back to it eventually, though. For now, working with colorful thread has been very therapeutic. Cassie, Nail Envy, I just got them done yesterday, so they're very fresh right now, but I do love them. I changed up the shape, so they feel really new to me, too, because I've had coffin nails for a long time, and I switched to almond so that I could type and play computer games easier. But they're nice. I am happy with them. Crafty place to be. Okay, stiff Ida in a kit and threw it away is horrible to work with. Is that how official Ida is? I don't know what official is, but like the ones that I got from Michaels are stiff. I think I'm gonna try to make them work. I don't know if I should like get them wet and let them dry. I don't know if it's something they spray on there that is like water soluble or, yeah, it's not my favorite. It's very annoying. Maybe I need to do some internet research. I'm sure I'm not the first person to have this problem. I need to like Google it. Dun, dun. Wow, sorry that got heavy with the writing stuff. Now I'm like thinking about my life and all the things. Like, woo! This heavy stuff. There's just so much to unpack there still for me, I think. It's hard to like put it into a few quick sentences, you know? Crafty place to be. You tried washing yours and it didn't work. Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna skip trying to do that then. I think I am gonna try to do the Welcome to Rohan project on it. I haven't actually started it, so I guess I don't have to start it on that if I don't want to. But I think I might try it, and if I hate it, then I'll just have that one project that I have, and then I'll never touch it again. I didn't spend too much money on it. I think I spent about $30 on like about 7 or 8 square feet. So it wasn't a ton, but I need to find other solutions maybe. Thank you for letting me know that it didn't work though, the washing, because save myself the trouble. I wonder what makes it stiff, because it's just supposed to be like cotton, isn't it? I wonder if it's just not cotton. Is it, maybe they made it out of plastic. I don't know. Let's see. Wow, I feel like I am moving way faster this time around than I did last time. It also might be the timing, because like I feel like 1 hour is not enough time to like really get into a stitching project. Other projects I like working on in short bursts, like editing a YouTube video. It can be monotonous, but it also is creative as you're like trying to make it fun. But that I can do for about an hour, and then I'm like, okay, I got a lot done, I'm good. With stitching, it's like after an hour, it's like, this is it? I feel like I haven't even touched this yet. Like, there's so much more to do. So I feel like maybe longer sessions are the way to go for me, because it just feels like after about an hour, it starts to feel like I'm actually making progress, even though I've been moving on it this whole time. It just starts to, maybe it just starts to look like it, because it is so easy to underestimate how much there is to do. Ooh, crafty place to be. Apparently it's to do with the starch in it. Why? I mean, I guess it makes sense if you're, you know what it probably is? Because I've seen people work on cross-stitch projects without hoops, which I don't understand. I know that some people, they like kind of pinch the fabric to do the stitch through, so they're like only working on the front side, which theoretically sounds nice, but I feel like my stitches would end up so wonky. Like, I need the hoop to keep all the tension of the fabric right. I can't really imagine doing that personally, but I have seen people do that, so I wish I need to like figure out what the keywords are or whatever to like know what kind of fabric you're getting, because when you're ordering it online, which we've all had to do a lot this year, it's like I don't know what's coming. I miss just being able to like go in a store and touch things and figure it out. No. Sometimes I get it the first time. I got these size 26 needles, but I think I'm gonna switch to size 24, because I don't have a terrible time threading them, but it's not quite as easy as I want it to be. So just a heads up, if you're new to needle sizes, 24 is what's recommended for like 2 strands. I mean, 26 is what's recommended for 2 strands. 24 is recommended for like 3 to 4 strands, but I think I'm still going to do 24 on my next project. Size 24 needles. I think also the size of the eye of this needle kind of makes the thread get shredded a little bit faster, because you have to move your needle up your thread as you go, and I think that it damages it more than I want it to. These are like official DMC needles. They're great. They're comfortable to use. They're very, perfect and smooth, and they just, I don't like it. I followed their recommendation, and I should have trusted my instincts and went with a bigger needle, because this one is too small for me. But hey, progress, right? Are we excited? I just really feel like being done with this section, which, I have to work on it more if I want to be done with it. But that doesn't mean I'm not tired of it. I'm ready to move on. Maybe I should start on something else. I think this will be my last one with this orange, and then I think I'll switch to doing something else. Some other color. I need to fill in some of this over here. It's like green, so that'll be nice. Maybe I'll switch to green. My eyes are starting to get orange fatigue. Ooh, guys, some other things that are fun. Movie theaters just opened up here after a year. There's 2 big movie theater companies in New York City. There's a bunch of one-off theaters too. There's some that have closed down, which is really sad. One of the first movies I ever went to in New York City was at Sunshine Cinema on Houston Street, downtown. Magical. So cute. I went to see Perks of Being a Wallflower. I'll never forget it. It was a perfect magical night. But the big theater companies are AMC and Regal. AMC is a huge nationwide theater. If you're not from the U.S., I'm talking to you, because everyone in the U.S. probably knows about AMC. But both AMC and Regal have really good monthly movie programs. Movies here, like cinema movies, are insanely expensive. For an example, in Arizona, the big chain that everyone goes to is Harkins. Harkins, you can see, even like, they call it their Cine Capri, which is like their biggest, it's like the equivalent of the AMC Dolby theaters, like the big ones with the comfy seats and all that stuff. In Arizona, you can see a Cine Capri movie for 12 or 13 bucks. And then everything else is usually like 9 or 10 for movie theater tickets. Here in Manhattan, IMAX / like Dolby is $26, and regular movies are $15 to $18. So it's ridiculous. Like, you could not see a movie here regularly if you're, a like middle income person. But AMC last year, 2019 actually, started a program called A-List. So now, or at least up until the pandemic, Vincent and I could pay $23 each and see up to 3 movies a week in any AMC theater, even including like IMAX and the big Dolby Cinema and stuff. So it saved us an insane amount of money. Like, we see a movie once a month and it's covered, and it just became something that we did at least once a week. There were times where we'd see a movie twice a week in the winter when it was really cold and we just wanted to like snuggle up on the big reclining seats at the theater. So we were huge moviegoers because it was just so affordable. It was almost about $50 a month really, to be able to go see basically unlimited movies for the two of us at any of the theaters. They have several locations in the city. Regal Cinemas in New York City has a really like exactly comparable program. If you are here, then there's another option for you. Anyway, of course AMC shut down with the pandemic, and our A-List program just got paused. We had no idea if it would come back or not. I was really worried that it wouldn't, because it kind of became a big part of Vincent and I's relationship to like go see movies. It's just something that we really love to do together. It's a perfect activity after a long work week, like on a Friday or Saturday night, because we're both kind of burnt out by then, especially Vincent teaching French all day. It's a perfect activity where like we can talk a little bit before and after, but it's doing something together that's not as, it doesn't require the same like attention span as like going out to dinner where we're like really engaged the whole time or something. And since we're married, we're not still trying to get to know each other as desperately as you are when you're dating, so it's nice to just like have an activity like that mixed in with all the other stuff. Anyway, AMC finally opened. It's been more than a year, and they finally opened. So we were really hesitant about going, but I stayed up to date on all the forums. AMC A-List has a forum on Reddit, and everyone said that it was totally good and safe, and they did a good job with everything. So we felt comfortable enough, and we went. We saw Chaos Walking in IMAX, and yeah, it was magical. I didn't realize how I would feel being back in the theater with the boomy sound and the big screen. Like, I literally started almost crying. Like, I was giddy. I haven't been that excited about something in so long. And like, we were wearing masks, and you needed to leave them on unless you were eating. So we would slip ours off to like grab a sip of soda or munch on some popcorn and then put it back on. We were in IMAX. There were literally only 2 other groups even in there, and everyone had their masks on. We were really spread out. And AMC even has a really good like app where you can book your seats. With like the theater looks open, you book your seats, and then they block off the seats around them, and you can create, they call it an entourage for other people in like your group that are A-list members, because it blocks it off after you book it. You couldn't book them separately like you used to be able to, so instead they make it so you can book for everybody and have them grouped. Anyway, so they made it really easy. Everything was super sterile. Everyone had their masks on and gloves on and whatever else, and it was so good. I missed it so much. We decided what we're gonna do for now is just have a standing Friday night reservation that we can cancel anytime. We don't get charged for canceling. So I think from here on out there might be movies to talk about every week. If you happen to be going to the cinema too, then we can talk about it. Lisa, love cinema nights. Can't wait to go to the movies again. Yeah. I just really hope they don't go away. I know that every movie theater company is like beyond struggling right now. There's no way they're making a single dollar on any of the showings that they're doing because no one's coming. And so I really hope that, like, I don't want everyone to come because I don't want a packed theater either right now, but I'm really, really hoping they can make it through people getting vaccinated, and like, I really hope people go back to the movies because I freaking love them. They're so fun. And I'm so not picky with movies either. I'll see anything. We used to see a lot of movies, so we would just see absolutely anything. And it was so fun to just like walk in blind and go see whatever it was. And like, we could talk about if it sucked afterwards, but it just wasn't a big deal because we didn't spend a lot of money on it. So it was really fun. Anyway, yeah. There's the scoop. That was the best thing to happen this week, was being able to go back to the movies. It was perfect. And I wish all of that good feeling that I had for all of you too. Andrea, I don't think movie nights are open in the UK yet, but I do miss it so much. Never thought I'd miss it this much. Yeah. It's like something that you kind of take for granted, right? Like there's always movies playing, and Hollywood's always trying to get you to go, get your butt in a theater seat with all of their flashy marketing. And I think because it was so in our faces all the time, it kind of became something that you kind of tuned out, right? But the absence of it, I've really noticed, and yeah, I really, really, really am so glad that they're starting to open things back up again. The only thing that really was a bummer about it is that I do love movie theater popcorn with butter and, all that, and did not taste good. My bout of COVID in April last year, I still don't have normal taste and smell. I have partial, but not full. And I could not taste. It was weird because it's like I couldn't really taste the butter, and I couldn't taste any of the good parts of the popcorn. I couldn't taste like the nuttiness of it. I could just taste kind of, I don't know. It was just barely there. It really was sad. And we put a lot of butter on it, but I couldn't taste the butter at all. So that was the only thing I was missing. I was having like popcorn taste nostalgia just because I can't taste it. And I don't know. That's the one part I don't know if that'll ever come back for me. Maybe I'll just skip the popcorn. It's not good for you anyway, but I miss it. It's a good time. The movie that we saw, Chaos Walking, is fun. I'll give you a quick review, spoiler-free review. It's not amazing. It's based on a book trilogy that has really high reviews on Goodreads, we noticed, after we were researching about the movie after we watched it. But the movie itself is fine. It's Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley. There's some other big names in there too, but I can't remember them off the top of my head because Daisy and Tom are the main people. And Daisy is a little too stoic for my liking. You just don't really get to know her, and so I didn't love her. But Tom Holland is so charming. I'm not like a huge Tom Holland stan because I wasn't a huge Spider-Man fan, which is where everybody knows him from originally. But he's just really charming in this movie because, the premise is that you can hear people's thoughts on this new planet, at least some of them. And his thoughts are just chaotic and cute and very like teenage boy, and that's the charming part for sure. He does a really good job, and obviously, he can cry on command, so he's good at showing emotion, and it was overall fun. I think if the movie does well, it'll probably end up being a trilogy of movies, because this one just covered the first book from what we could tell. But anyway, if you are able to go back to the movies, or if you feel like streaming something at home, Chaos Walking is a perfectly respectable evening of entertainment. It's nothing groundbreaking, but you'll enjoy it, probably. Maybe you'll think it's stupid, I don't know. I'm probably really biased just because I got to see it in a theater. Oh no, what is that square doing? I wonder if I hit a button on accident. Oh no, it's fine. I can't see anything. Stop it. There we go. Okay, I think it's fine. But yeah. There you go. There's my review. We already pre-booked tickets for Godzilla vs. Kong, which of course we have to see in theater. That's such a theater movie. That's coming out March 31st, so we're gonna see it like that Friday, April 2nd or something. I don't know what we're gonna see this week. I have to talk to Vincent about it. There isn't a whole lot else coming out that we're really excited about. There are some movies that are like award winners that would be good to see. Like Nomadland is, I think it's still in theaters. That one looked really good, and also has a female director that I think she's the first Asian female director to win a Golden Globe. I think that's what it was. There's some award-winning shows like that that we might try to book. We'll see. If you have any recommendations. Andrea, I'm so glad you're able to come. Thanks for staying up late for us. It was so fun. Getting late, going off to bed. Yes. Expect us back here next week. I will try to book as early as possible every time for all of you UK folks. I know there's a lot of you. Have a great night. Love you. Bye. Sleep well. Dream of stitching. Dun, dun. I need water. Sometimes I forget when I'm talking a lot that I need extra water, but then it's like I'm on camera and I don't want to be annoying, so sorry guys. We are not about that dehydrated life. Not gonna do it. It's not worth it. Oof. I need to go to the gym tomorrow, which I'm really not looking forward to, by the way. We just started going to the gym, and we booked for Friday, for Saturday, for Sunday, and we canceled it every time. Because in order for it to fit into our schedules, we have to get up at 6:30 at the latest, be out the door at 7. We walk there because that's, good exercise, and it's easier than trying to take the bus or the train. But it's about a 30-minute walk, and because of COVID, you have to have a reservation. So you have a narrow window. So if we book our gym for 7:30, we can be there for an hour, and then we have to head back. And we have to head back pretty early so Vincent has time to get into his lessons. So anyway, the only time we can go to the gym is very early, is my point. And it has been a struggle. Vincent's pretty good about going by himself, but going together is like a new thing, and I just really desperately need some exercise in my life because I'm 26 and very sedentary, so I need exercise. And it's just been so rough, so I'm already dreading it. It's like I've gone a couple times, and every time I feel so good after. It's just that getting up early that's been so hard for me. Really, tell me why I need to push through. Help me. Somebody help me. Save me. I don't know why it's so hard for me. I know I'm not alone in that, and I'm sure that a lot of people are feeling the absence of like the normal amounts of exercise that you'd usually get if you're out and about a lot more pre-COVID, but man, it's rough. The only way that I've been successfully able to even think about going to the gym is just because I know I'm going to get an hour of walking and chatting with Vincent there and back. That I really look forward to. I could walk and talk forever. I love walking in the city. So walking there and back is nice, and then I've just chosen to like not have a schedule or a plan, to just not worry about it, and I'll just do whatever I feel like when I'm there. If I want to walk some more on the treadmill, if I want to do the rowing machine, or if I feel like doing strength training, I can do that if I ever feel like it, which I haven't yet. I've mostly been doing stationary bike, but anyway, there's a little encouragement for you if you're struggling to like get back in the gym or do anything active. I am too. And the way that it's been working a lot better for me, besides the having to get up early part, because that's been really hard, but the way that it's been working out well for me is just to like commit to just being in that space, and then not worrying too much about what I do when I'm there, and just like not having too many goals or things I'm trying to do. I just not worry about it and just like enjoy being there. And when I'm there, I'm gonna be doing something. I'm not just gonna stand there while everyone else is working out. I'm gonna go do something, and something is better than nothing. My therapist says just 1%. All you gotta do is 1% better than you did last week, and I'll be happy. And having the bar set that low has made it feel so much more attainable. So anyway, 1%. We're gonna do 1% better this week than we did last week. because last week I only made it to the gym twice. My goal is more than twice. So if I can just do, I don't even know, 2 times in a walk even would be great. Anything a little bit more than what I did last week would be good. That's the goal this week. I'll check back in with you next week and we'll see how I did. You can grade me on my progress. It's probably just going to be 1%, so I don't know if anyone's going to be able to tell a difference, but that's where we're at. It's weird how, that's another thing I've really noticed. Hi, Amanda. I'm so glad you're able to join too. Welcome. One thing that I've really noticed, I was talking to Vincent about this, just like everything feels a little harder. There's real, things that are definitely harder. Like here in the city, if you go out into the city, you kind of need to be able to use public restrooms. Like they're either, you're obviously not going to be home for several hours. You're out walking. Sometimes you need a bathroom. And I have usually been really good. Oh, guys, this is another tip. Okay, I should show you this actually. Pause what I was saying. So what I did is I just ran my thread through here, but it was really close to the edge. So here's what I usually do if it's really close to the edge and it's going to be hard to like get my needle, back up and out. What I do is I just stick my needle through and pop it out on the other side. And then if you just trim it all the way short, like obviously don't accidentally cut your other thread, but you just trim it right to the fabric, it'll just kind of disappear back in, and then it'll be clean and you didn't have to try to like totally yank your needle through, because that sucks. It's a bad idea. Don't do that. Keep it soft and gentle. Don't mess up your stitches. Okay, cool. That was all I wanted to tell you. Anyway, we were out walking after the movie that we went to on Friday night, walking down 8th Avenue, and like public restrooms are a little bit harder to find. There really is kind of a rougher crowd. We've seen more people just openly doing crack and heroin on the street than we ever have before. Like that's definitely a new thing that is a very real thing that's happening here in New York City. And it's weird because it's like, it's 9:30 on a Friday night, right? That's when we were walking on Friday, and it was like really dead except for the rough crowd. And it really felt kind of unsafe. We've never felt unsafe usually in the city. Like that's not something that has been a concern. But we definitely were kind of feeling that Friday, and it's like, it just feels a little harder. It feels harder to run and grab cash out of the ATM because there's homeless people hanging out in the bank inside the ATM because it's open 24/7. I get it. It's cold outside, but it still is a little bit scarier taking out cash late at night. It's harder getting back to the train. There's a lot more people that pass by that kind of stare at you, and we saw someone literally pop in a squat, like pants down, pop in a squat, middle of 8th Avenue. Usually there'd be so many people out at the time of night, Friday night. It was so weird. It just felt really abandoned. Anyway, this is like kind of tangential, but all in all, it's just like things that were no-brainers, like going out walking in the city late at night never felt hard to us. That was something that we really enjoyed doing together. And right now, it does just feel a little bit harder. It's kind of making it harder to go out at all. And it's making me frustrated because like I really want to be out. Like I'm feeling really ready to kind of like get back into some kind of good flow, but it's not easy because things just really are still a little bit different. I think until mandates are lifted, like I think it's going to be an amazing Renaissance summer, but we got to get through the next few months first. So I'm struggling. I think I'm struggling more now than I was like last year. I'm just over it. Crafty place to be. You just bought yourself a Fitbit. Gym's still closed here because I'll be traveling around once lockdown lifts. I can't have a gym membership. Yeah. Our gym membership we can cancel anytime, and that's the only reason that we feel comfortable doing it. I have been considering getting an Apple Watch for forever for that reason. I just haven't ever pulled the trigger on it because I've never been able to commit to exercise enough. But I'm hoping if I can build up some kind of routine where like, once you get to the point where exercise feels good, then maybe if I feel like I can stick to something, I'll like spend a little bit of money on it. But it is really hard to get back into it after an entire year of just like being completely sedentary. I have never had such a struggle with this in my life. I've never been super consistent with the gym, but if it wasn't the gym, it was like hiking or longboarding or walking or just, I was always doing something at least. Not just literally not leaving the house for days and not doing nothing. It's terrible. It's really hard. That's probably something that takes, it's part of the mental health toll that quarantine takes, I think, probably for people. I would imagine that a lot of people are struggling with that because exercise is so important. I know it is for me. Me and Vincent both, real married life talk. It is hard. There's a real difference in Vincent's, temperament when he doesn't get exercise. He just feels better when he gets exercise. He's more patient. He's more positive. He's more confident, and it's nothing to do with how he looks. It's just like a mental game, and not being able to have easy access to that, or, you miss your time at the gym and you can't go later in the day because it's all booked. It's just really hard. It feels really hard for us at least. I know I definitely am just really tired all the time too. Just like a lack of energy. I don't know how it affects my moods because I think there's other things that affect it more than exercise, but it's rough. I'm ready. The summer's gonna be good. The summer's gonna be good. That's what I keep telling myself. It's gonna be a great summer full of magical things. We're ready. Let's see. Amanda, I'm the same way. When I don't go to the gym when I plan to, it throws off everything. I start eating like crap, then I get depressed and anxious. It's a bad cycle. Yeah, that's one thing that I think has been really interesting about hitting my late 20s. I'm almost 27. Vincent is 27. It's weird going from teenager to young adult. You definitely feel a shift in maybe how much sleep you need or some little things, but I noticed a big shift when I hit about 25 where I need the routines. It's hard because my brain does get bored. I like change and adventure and whatever else, but I need 8 hours of sleep. I need enough water every day. I have to eat frequently enough. I need good fruits and vegetables. I just really feel the effects of it in my body more than I ever have before. And I'm not super good about staying consistent because I just never trained myself to be. When I was younger, it was easy to just, make it work. And I didn't really make it work that well because I struggled in the 2 years I was in college. That was as much as I made it through because I never really got into a good routine and habit. But yeah, I just keep every year I notice it more and more where it's my body needs certain things, and if it doesn't get those things, I cannot function. It's really hard to adjust to that. Late nights don't feel nearly so exciting as they used to. If you're not planning for them, it's nope, I gotta go home. Sorry, I'm tired. That's why these live streams are nice, because I can just sit at home and stitch and still feel like I'm doing something fun and social. Oh, okay, I'm glad I switched to green because I was really tired of looking at that orange thread. Not that there's anything wrong with orange, I just didn't feel like doing it anymore. Alright, Amanda, what are you working on? I can't remember what project you said you are. Are you working on the same project as last time? And what is it? That's what I mean to say. I can't remember what you are working on. Remind me. I'm just going to be working on this Star Wars project until the day I die, I think. That's what it's starting to feel like. No, it's fine. We're going to push through. I just need to spend a little bit more time on it. I haven't in the last few weeks. I think I'm feeling slow down lately. But I'm so close. Like, I've gone through so much. I just need to literally do the sky, basically. The top of my AT-AT also, but mostly it's just sky left over. Lisa, I'm so glad that you love this. It's kind of weird that we can all just like sit around and do this independently, but also together, right? As long as you don't mind me talking, I think that it's really fun. I'm glad that you feel like it's fun too. I don't know if anyone else is doing this on YouTube. I haven't looked, but I feel like it probably, isn't exactly a no-brainer that it would work. It was an experiment for me, but I'm really enjoying it. I love hanging out with you guys, so thanks for showing up. Thanks for commenting. I know I don't have to stop and, type out a comment to be able to communicate with you, so thanks for doing that, because I know it's probably annoying to have to put down your project and, text things every so often. I appreciate your participation. And also, by the way, we can totally, in the future, if you guys were interested in doing a Zoom call or something, we could have more than one person on this. I just haven't found anyone in my life really that would be comfortable hanging out and stitching like this on camera. But if any of you guys are, let me know. Let's connect, just DM me on Instagram or something. And I think it'd be really fun to have other people and have an actual conversation also. That would be great. I'm down for pretty much anything. And I still think doing a movie stream or something would be really fun too. Watching Twilight together sounds great. As long as you don't mind my occasional commentary, because I have things to say about that. But I think it would be fun. We could do we could do that on Twitch or something. Whatever you want. Let me know if you have any thoughts. This is supposed to be a community thing. This isn't me, I'm not teaching you anything. I'm not showing you something. We're just hanging out. So if there's anything that you want to do, I am down for all of it. I'm just glad to be here. Jackie, hi. Guys, this is my friend Jackie. We live real close by. We watched The Bachelor together. Our boys were hanging out today. So fun. How are you? Give me all the scoop. Anything you're comfortable sharing in a public group chat. Jackie, yes, it's a super fun time. I'm into it. Let's never stop. It's very quiet right now, but it's generally a good time. Don't forget to drink your water, kids. Jackie, cooking dinner, amazing. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on, but hopefully I'll still be on when you're ready. I'll just see. I said 2 hours, but I kind of feel like I'm also on a roll, so I don't mind staying on if you guys don't. I mean, of course, you can leave whenever. There's actually no obligation here. I'll just stay on whether you stay or not. But if you feel like staying on, great. I think I will stay on a little longer. Me and Vincent both had pizza at 3 o'clock, because that's when the guys ordered pizza here. Vince brought me a couple slices to where I was sequestered in the office. So I had a couple slices of pizza earlier, and they were especially good today. Sometimes the place down the street just gets it right. So I kind of ate late. I haven't had dinner, but I also kind of had a late lunch, so I think that might be it for me, honestly. Crafty place to be. Love the Zoom idea. I don't know anyone else my age that is cross stitch. Trying to find others doing the same is hard. It totally is. Okay. I'm serious, guys. Connect with me on Instagram, and we can set something up. We could even do like a pre-Zoom call just so that it's not awkward. I think that getting to know you, like kind of conversation on live stream is really fun. But whatever you're comfortable with, I'm totally open to it. Vincent does that every weekend for his French classes or his French like YouTube channel. He'll just have people who are learning French come on and like chat with them over the Zoom call on the live stream. So we could totally set that up easily. We know how to do it. I'm comfortable with it personally. DM me if you're down. Lisa, you haven't watched Twilight for years. Lisa, I can't remember how new you are to this, but get ready, because it was never meant to be this way, but Twilight is definitely something that comes up frequently for me. It's something I'm very familiar with, for sure. Oh shoot, I just realized I haven't looked at my pattern in a while. It's okay, I only messed up 2 stitches. We're good, guys. I overstitched a couple. I feel like it's gonna be hard to fix though. Let's see. Yes. Isn't that the best feeling when you mess up a stitch and then the thread comes up clean and it's not all tangled up? That's like my worst fear every time. It's like, please don't be tangled, please don't be tangled. We're good. I think we're good. Yay, survived. We have 1 more stitch to undo. Let's see if I can do it. I'm scared. Okay, we got this, we got this. I believe in myself. Yes, we did it, guys. All is well. We're good. Survived. Okay. It's supposed to come over here. Crafty place to be. Perfect. My name is literally just Emmeline etc. Emmeline ETC on Instagram, so that's easy. Let's connect. We'll make it happen. Lisa, yeah, I post Twilight memes all the time on Instagram. None of them are my own. I just think they're all really funny. Twilight's not something that I particularly love. It has so many issues, and I definitely loved the books as they came out, but as soon as the movies came out, I hated the fan base, and so as a teenager, I really hated Twilight. I would make fun of it quite a bit, but as an adult, there's this crazy amount of nostalgia for me. It was very much escapism. I think it soothed a lot of my anxiety when we were living in France and I was alone at night because my husband worked night shifts at a hotel. So I would just be alone for 12 hours at a time. And I just ended up watching Twilight almost every night. I would just play all 5 movies over and over again. It was just really comforting. And that has translated into me just having a lot to say about the movies now. They will never be old for me. They have too much of a hold on my self-soothing anxiety techniques. It's a very common thing I come back to. At least once a week I start watching Twilight, probably. I very rarely get through all 5 movies now. It'll probably be another few weeks before I'm ready to watch all 5 again. But there's just something about it. Jackie, I'm also an adult who also vibes with Twilight these days. I literally, Vincent sent me a meme the other day. Well, it was a tweet or something, but someone was saying that watching movies over and over again is an anxiety thing because it's familiar, you know what's coming, you know how it ends, so it's just kind of a safe place. And I think there's something about Twilight in particular, the soundtrack, the extremely overly simplified storyline in which basically no one exists in Bella's world but Edward and Jacob, and then tangentially sometimes Charlie. And then there's something about the happy ending where nobody dies, and I don't know. There's just something about it that I think in particular a lot of people have identified with this year for sure. I'm okay with it because that means that I have an excuse to talk about it without being too much of a weirdo, like I would have been 2 years ago if I tried to talk about it. It's definitely having like a big resurgence. And if you guys are interested, I have 2 very different Twilight podcasts I can recommend that are awesome. Ooh, I just discovered a new podcast too. Okay, I have things to tell you. I really like podcasts. If you don't like podcasts, sorry. I'm just going to tell you about these anyway. It's my favorite Twilight podcast is from the girl, Vanessa. Oh, I can't remember her last name. Her name is Vanessa. But she does Harry Potter and the Sacred Text, but they actually just finished that podcast, and it's amazing. They go through Harry Potter chapter by chapter. She and the other co-hosts are secular humanists, and they went to divinity school, like at Harvard Divinity School, and they just have this really beautiful perspective on things that I really identified with in the midst of my faith crisis. So in quarantine, Vanessa from Harry Potter and the Sacred Text started this really snarky, hilarious Twilight podcast that she does with her friend Julia, and she's really brilliant, Harvard Divinity School, and then also very snarky and funny. So it's a good mix. I recommend both podcasts that she's a part of because she's just awesome. So the one that, what's it called? Hot and Bothered, a Twilight podcast or something like that. But she and Julia are going through the Twilight Holes book series chapter by chapter, and they're very funny. The other Twilight podcast that I've been listening to lately is one, I can't remember the name of it. If you look up Twilight podcast, it'll be there. It's just like Twilight Decoded, I think it's called. Yeah, Twilight Decoded. It's with this group of girls who are like best friends from New Zealand. So first of all, their accents are wonderful. Love their accents. And it's interesting because like they were super fans when they were younger, but now that they're older, they're seeing more of the issues with it. And they literally just record like them and all their friends hanging out and talking about it. And so it's very casual, and like even the sound recording isn't great, but I also feel like I'm hanging out with this group of New Zealand girls that I'm now friends with because I'm hanging out with them because of, these podcast episodes. And they're also going through Twilight chapter by chapter. They've actually finished Twilight and are on Vampire Diaries, so they have a lot of episodes that you could go back and listen to. Anyway, those are my 2 favorite podcasts right now for Twilight. And then the other podcast that I just discovered is called Gilmore Guys, and they're going through Gilmore Girls like episode by episode, and it's with a couple of guys, straight guys, just talking about Gilmore Girls from their perspective. And it's like a white guy and a black guy that are like kind of newly friends at the beginning of the podcast in 2014. And so the podcast starts kind of rough because like you can still tell they're still kind of trying to get to know each other a little bit. But it's very fun. I enjoy Gilmore Girls, but there's also a lot of problems with that show. So I really appreciate kind of a more critical, not critical, like they do love it, but a more kind of, I guess critical look at it. That would be the right word. But yeah, that one's another one I'm very much enjoying that I just found. I listen to podcasts a lot on the train, so that's like, I'm always looking out for new ones. If you have any other recommendations, well, let me know. Lisa, I totally get this. There's definitely something in it. Yeah, there's just something about it. I don't know. Okay, also, I will say that a lot of people, especially now that a lot of more adults are coming back to Twilight, the first movie is horrible. I don't care what anyone says. It's so bad that me and my sister, like I was an 8th grader, she was a 6th grader when we saw Twilight at the midnight premiere. We literally started laughing in the theater, and all of the ladies around us that were like crazy Twilight fans were like, shh, like, they were so mad at us because we just burst out laughing because it was so absurd. Like we couldn't believe what we were watching was a legitimate feature-length film made by a studio that everyone was enjoying. Like it was baffling to us. But it's so weird because like now everyone's coming back to it as adults, and it's totally cool if you have this opinion because I can tell you that a majority of people do. Like that people loved the first one the most. I don't get it. I don't get it. I respect your opinion because you're allowed to have whatever opinion you want. I don't know if it's just nostalgia blinding people, but that movie is the worst one, and I will die on that hill. But so that one's the hardest one for me to get through because it's almost like a spoof movie to me. Like it's just like so ridiculous. But the rest of the movies are good. I really like New Moon actually. Maybe it's because maybe I just don't like Kristen and Robert together, and so New Moon is where they are not together, and so it's better. I'm still Team Edward, but I just don't like Kristen and Robert together as actors. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna trigger some people. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I have to count my stitches really fast. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. The first one, it's green. They mention monkeys twice. I'm sorry, in a romance novel, or I mean a romance show, movie, mentioning monkeys twice is 2 times too many times, in my opinion. Like, monkeys should be mentioned 0 times in a romance movie, not twice. And they mention monkeys twice, especially in the context of people who are supposed to be really sexy and athletic. I would never describe someone very sexily athletic as a monkey. But here we are. Well, I guess the first time is Edward calling Bella a spider monkey, so she's not really athletic, but monkeys are athletic, so that still doesn't fit. Bella's not a spider monkey. If anything, she's a baby elephant. It's probably the best comparison. They kind of stumble a lot, don't they? I don't know. There aren't very many animals that are like really uncoordinated. It's kind of a hard comparison to try to make on the fly. The one thing that I haven't touched in Twilight in general is Midnight Sun. Everyone liked it. I am kind of afraid of it because Edward's mind seems like a dark place, and I don't think I've been ready to go visit that yet. It's like I already know he wanted to kill her, and I think I identify too much with Bella, and I don't know if I want to experience Bella through Edward. I don't know, but I haven't touched it, so if any of you guys have read it, tell me if it's worth my time. My friends who have read it said that it's worth reading, but I don't know. Lisa, okay, hang on. You think it's very cringy now? Yeah, I agree. I think New Moon was my fave. New Moon just had like good vibes. Bella is a, shell. She's nothing. But the music's really good. There's that really cool scene where they're just going around with the months, which I've never identified so much with as I do right now. And like the tones compared to Twilight, which is all green and blue and sallow and horrible, New Moon is so warm, and the colors, like if you watch the movies right in a row, Twilight makes me feel cold and dark, and it's in no way cute or loving. They took out every romantic bit from it, and then you get to New Moon and it's like warm, and Jacob is warm and happy, and I mean until he transforms, but in general there's just something about it that's like a place that I want to be more than the original Twilight movie world. I don't know. It's hard to describe. But that's how I feel. Ugh, you know what I just realized? I have to adjust this. So one thing that I kind of figured out recently, because I was having a hard time with like the cloth on the side that that's closest to me. I was having a hard time with it dragging down. So what I did, I thought I was so clever doing this, I just folded it up like this so that it wasn't in my way. But now I'm trying to stitch right here. So that's not going to work. I might have to fix that. Or just not continue on down, actually. It's probably what I'll end up doing. But I kind of forgot that I did that. Which has been good for, the cloth not dragging against my t-shirt all the time while I'm stitching, but it's also annoying that I can't stitch any further down. Oh well, lesson learned. Probably not going to do that again. I don't know. Maybe I will keep doing it again and I'll just complain every time I have to move it. Lisa. See, this is what happens. I start talking about Twilight and then everybody needs to go watch it again to remember what I'm talking about. And then it's this vicious cycle where we're all just watching Twilight over and over again. Because now that I'm talking about it, I want to go watch it too. Having the podcast that I've been listening to, the ones that go through chapter by chapter, actually has been a good substitute for the movies sometimes for me. When I get the urge to watch the movies, sometimes I'll just go listen to Twilight Decoded because it's like 1 to 2 hour long episodes of them talking about things, and that can sometimes do it for me. But I might need a full rewatch soon. Maybe I'll try to wait and save it and do it with you guys so that it's kind of more fresh. I think that would probably be smart. See if I can resist long enough. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think that's maybe asking a little too much of me right now, but we'll see if I can do that. Now that I've said it, I'm scared of making it a commitment because knowing me, I'll probably end up watching it sooner than that. Let's see. Okay. We're getting to a very heavy counting part of this piece for a minute. Sorry, I have to concentrate for a minute because, like, this part, I don't want to mess it up because it's the shape of the at, and if I mess that up, then it won't read the same way. It's not as easy to mess up as the sky is. I don't really have any spots on here that I've messed up, actually. Actually, you know what? There's a few little spots over here that, like, the count's definitely wrong, but because it's just random shapes, it doesn't matter a whole bunch. It would right here, though. I think we're good. I think I got it. I think we're good, guys. Don't worry. I know you're all very worried about me and my stitch counts, but don't stress. Ooh, guys, if you like perfectly painted nails, go follow Jackie's nail account because it's awesome. She's the one that inspired me to do these nails. We talked about it beforehand. We discussed it and sent pictures back and forth, and then I went and got these. So she actually gets the credit for that. But she legit has a great nail account. And I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to chat it. It's on Instagram. I hope you don't mind, Jackie, I'm shouting you out. Because you're awesome, and you deserve it. Okay, I hope I got that right. Let me know if I didn't, Jackie. But I think that's right. There it is if you want to follow her. She's fun. And Jackie, maybe sometime I can convince you to be in one of these videos. Because me and Jackie, since we live really close, we could actually just physically be in the video. Like, we could just hang out in the same room. We wouldn't even have to do a Zoom thing, which would be fun. That might work out really good. Crafty place to be, mistakes just make it personal. That's what I tell myself anyway. But you know, like, I'm laughing because it's so true. And that's honestly actually what I feel like. I sometimes, like, on the like r/cross-stitch Reddit, you know, people share finished projects there a lot. And I think that the like finished perfect projects are so beautiful. But I also kind of feel like when it looks like a machine could do it, it kind of loses a little bit of the personality. So I'm totally cool with occasional messy stitches and whatever else. Jackie, I just said that you deserve credit for these nails because I got multiple compliments. So credit where credit is due. And I told everyone to go follow you. Hope you're cool with that. And I hope I spelled that right. I just feel like these people need to get to know you because you crochet and we're friends, and maybe someday you'll be in one of these videos. And I'm glad you're here, and I think you're cool, so. Let's see. Okay, oh no, I'm about to mess up again. Let's make sure I count this right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think we're good. I haven't done the black part this far down yet, so it's risky. Living life on the edge, going out of my comfort zone. 100% all in. Wow. Jackie, yes, thank you so much for giving me permission. Sometimes there's something weird, like I usually just do all one color, and it's like, it almost feels sometimes like you need permission to do something new, and just having someone else tell you that it's a good idea, and even just like giving you the terminology to ask for different things is so helpful, and Jackie did that for me. Because I get crazy weird anxiety going to the nail salon, just like with the language barrier sometimes. I love everyone there, they're so nice. They call me if the appointments are running long, so I don't end up having to wait there a long time. Like, they're so nice. And even, like, there's one time where I didn't bring enough cash for a really good tip, and they were like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, they're just so patient with me. But that doesn't mean that I don't completely overthink it and spend the entire week replaying in my mind what to say and what to ask for, and, like, finding the perfect picture so that it's not hard. And anyway, I way overthink it. So having someone to just say, yes, you should do this, it's fine, is really helpful. And sometimes necessary. That's why it's good to talk to people about things that you're thinking about doing. Because then they can maybe convince you to do them. Yay, Jackie. Okay, I'm actually feeling pretty good about this. Guys, we're making a lot of progress tonight. I know it doesn't look like it, but we've actually, I started with it up here. None of this was filled in, or this orange at least, and none of this green. So I'm actually doing pretty good for just a couple hours. Feeling good. This is great. I need to do this like every night. I hope you're all, I'm really sorry I have not posted a video. I'm editing a vlog right now that it was literally an hour long, and like, because it was over the course of a week and I feel like I'm kind of out of practice with vlogging, there was literally, of that hour long video, I think I repeated the same information like 3 different times. It was awful. I just like couldn't remember if I talked about it or not, and then in the moment it was just like, oh, I'll just check back when when I'm editing it back, if I said it, I'll just delete it. But then it's like the way that I talk about things kind of like rolls off of itself, and so then it's really hard to cut it down. Anyway, I'm still working on this vlog, but it has been complete drudgery to get through. The thing that I'm loving right now is doing these live streams, because I still feel like I can connect with you guys with like cross stitch and other stuff that I'm doing, and feel productive and like just feel connected without having put out a finished video. But at the same time, like, I really want to post a video. So anyway, I'm working on one. I'm just having a really hard time getting back into it. I think there was a little bit of time where vlogging at home didn't feel hard, but after a year of quarantine, it feels so hard. It just feels like there's very little to talk about, and that's changing. Like, movie theater opened up, that's exciting. There's like little things to talk about, but anyway, it's just been a real struggle. I think that's why I'm just feeling really excited for summer. Like, even if there are still restrictions, at least the weather's good enough to be able to like go outside, and we have friends with cars that want to go do things upstate. Like, that's really exciting. So anyway, I'm really glad that we're here doing this now, because otherwise I would just be feeling bad about not having put anything out, and then also feeling bad trying to edit something, and that just sucks. Like, that's not what YouTube should be. YouTube should be fun. And I think that, when you're not feeling good about something you're creating, that filters into how it ends up being. Like, it can't help but end up in the final product. So luckily, there's good vibes here, and hopefully this cross-stitch project is going to stay looking great, because we got good vibes. Hey, you finished the one line of the large bell. Okay, please don't forget to send me a picture of that because I want to see it so bad. I just can't. I'm definitely not in any kind of medical career, so I don't think I can picture it. I need to see it. I want to. Anatomically. I don't even know. I'm assuming it's a tube. I don't know what it looks like. Show me. I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm going to be looking out for that DM. Also, big applause for you because sometimes those are kind of monotonous and hard. But also so important to do good. Jackie, okay, go eat. Text me later. Love you. Have a good night. Amazing. Tomorrow, Bachelor, correct? I think it's the finale, finally. How are we feeling? Do any of you guys watch The Bachelor? I know I have a lot of UK people here, so I don't know. But if you do, how are you feeling about it? I'm not feeling great, so let me know. I think that Matt is my least favorite Bachelor, and I really didn't want it to be that way. He seems much better not on The Bachelor. Like, he seems like a nice guy. He doesn't have really great friends, but he seems nice enough. It's just, he just can't carry the show really great, and it shows in the kinds of people he picked, in my opinion. I got kind of spoiled too. This season it was hard to avoid spoilers, so that didn't help. But yeah, I think they're gonna have a record low turnouts for The Bachelor next year. I think there's a lot of people that are kind of done with the show after 25 seasons. It's crazy the amount of time it's been on. Also, anyway. Cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna go 8 more minutes till 8:30, and then probably I'm gonna be done, because if I'm gonna be in bed by 10, I might need to grab a little bite to eat, a little bit more to eat, and then start to do the wind down. Wash my face, make sure the house is all tidied up. Hopefully Vincent did some dishes, if we're lucky, fingers crossed. I don't know if he's watching this or not. Probably not. That was his hint, if he is. And then gym tomorrow. I guess you guys can be my accountability. My therapist and my coach are both out of town this week. So I got used to having like weekly appointments to keep me on track with things. And now I don't have that this week, and I'm missing it. So you guys can be my accountability for if I make it to the gym and get stuff done. I'll report back next week on how it went. I'll let you know about what movie we saw, because that'll be this weekend. Speaking of which, I need to book that. Mental reminder to book that. And what else? What else is there to keep track of? I don't know. Hopefully I'll have more progress on this. I don't want to wait a whole week in between anymore. It's like I kind of miss working on it, but I want to work on other things more, so it's a hard balance. It's probably the same as to how anyone would feel like who has a full-time job and is just working on it on the weekends. It's very similar. I don't know. Cool. Okay, I think I said 8:30, but maybe I'll end right here because I'm done with this thread, and then I don't have to thread a new one. Okay, I hope everyone's okay with that. I'm so glad all of you could join. Love you being here. It's always fun. I am so happy that you keep me accountable, keep me working on these projects, and I'm so glad to provide a space for you to work on projects too. Anyone who's interested, I'm serious about doing a Zoom call. Don't forget to find me on Instagram. You can DM, WhatsApp, or whatever. I know that a lot of you are in other parts of the world, so I figure Instagram is the best place to connect that's, not phone dependent. So let's do that, and we'll have a good time. Yes, Lisa. Yay, I'm so glad that you had a fun time like me. We will do this again for sure. I'll try to schedule it as early as possible so that you know. Plan on around like 5 or 6 my time. So if you're, however many hours ahead of me you are, keep that in mind. And what else? I think that's it. Thanks for being here. Love you guys. I'm going to sign off. I'm not going to wait for your DMs, but just know that you're awesome. Okay, bye.